I thought it was worth it to see what's going on the field of Minecraft ripoffs and how much they're getting naked lately. If it's your first time here, in this series we reviewed various terrible, weird, cheeky and all the other words that can describe the clones of Minecraft. Let's see what they were this time. The first game for today is Minecraft Blockycraft 2024. It's a wonderful title. The game has over 100 million downloads, and the rating reaches 4 stars based on the 141,000 reviews. Not bad, huh? Incredible numbers for a game this bad. The first thing that greets us upon entering is the art with the name Blockycraft 3D, although the game has a completely different name. Then the game starts loading, and already here is a logo called Blockcraft World. Honestly, I have no idea what we are about to play. After loading, we are of course greeted by a video advertisement, and it's extremely long. But that's half the trouble. On main screen there will be even more. Count with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. 6 contextual ads right in the main menu. Are you crazy? I think that's a bit much. Alright, video ads in the beginning, 1 in the main menu, but 6! Yes, likely the game developer only has the goal of making money. Alright, let's abstract away from the commercials and take a look at the game modes. The first one is the Craft.io. Everything is as simple as possible. At the beginning of the round, the character is given a choice of weapons with a unique radius of defeating opponents. All the players needs to do is to get close to the enemy, or rather to get him in the radius of defeat, and then just hit him. Thus we kind of eat the enemy and become stronger. Overall, the game is pretty fun. If only after each round there wasn't a video advertisement. If you think it's people playing along with me, it's really not. In the beginning, when I played with the internet on, I thought so too. But as soon as I turned it off so I couldn't see the ads, people still showed up. So none of this is real people. I will add that in this mode there is bonuses, defense and speed boost. They fall out of various buildings. Spot beast is especially useful when you become a giant entity and start moving extremely slowly. The second game mode is Escape Hell. All that is required from the players is to click on the screen in time, so that our character who is escaping from the wooden cube can turn in the right direction. Gameplay is not complicated, the usual time killer. The further you run, the more difficult it becomes. After all, you will have to use double jump and jump over the traps. Overall, also a cool game, but made for the player often died and watched after that advertising. I couldn't figure it out, the reason for the coins I was collecting in the games. Turns out there are paid skins and animals, 2 kinds of dragons, a griffin, a gorilla and a monkey. A very strange choice as animals to ride. Skins are paid too. You can buy both, for coins and for watching ads. They mostly copy popular characters. There is a Superman, Joker, even here is Iron Man. But he still reminds me of someone else. I cannot understand who. The third and the final game mode is creative. There is no survival here. Your task is simply to click on the right block when constructing various buildings in the game. Strange considering that the game spans blocks in creative mode. After building, the players goes to menu and simply select a new building to build. For structure, you get levels and coins that can be spent to purchase new building schemes. Flying is also possible here, and if you approach NPCs and click on them, they start dancing strangely. It looks funny, but at the same time creepy somehow. Maybe just me. By the way, in addition to the usual flying, we also have the opportunity to buy mounts. There are a lot of them, but all the coolest ones are very expensive. Of course, almost every action in the game is followed by annoying video ads. The next ripoff I found quite by accident. It popped up as an advertisement right in a Google Play. Craft Fun Sword VIP is in early access, but it already has over 1 million downloads. I like the screenshots from the game the most, because they are simply screenshots from the Minecraft dungeons. It's simple, they took and uploaded screenshots from a completely different game, and at the end added a screenshot from the regular Minecraft with a third-party resource pack. Just think about the impudence of this situation, and the most importantly, who let this game into the store. After all, before publication should pass moderation, but apparently it was not. As soon as I downloaded the game and launched it, it was instantly greeted by a full screen ad. Then the game would crash. Every time I go into the game, the ads appear. But overall, as I assumed, it was an older version of Minecraft that was available on mobile devices. Even when I logged in, I was shown some sort of window, probably asking me to log into my Microsoft account, but there was no text visible. They just changed the resource pack and removed the marketplace buttons and the dressing room. Of course, they also put contextual ads right on the top of the screen. The settings are the same. The world creation screen is the same. Go into the the world, I saw the good old Minecraft just with the faithful resource pack, top of the hotspot, and also top of the indifference from Google Play moderation. Okay, even if they can get around the fact that they're using the original version of Minecraft, but the screenshots are totally misleading and I think it's a scam. Of course, what's new part of the Minecraft ripoffs without the most important legend of this series? Noob versus Pro. Yes, it turns out a few more parts have come out, but this time we'll focus on the fourth one. Noob vs Pro Lucky Block. The game has over 5 million downloads, and rating of the 4.5 stars based on 75,000 reviews makes it clear that this part is as successful as the previous ones. In the main menu, everything is the same as always. Animated background, built-in ads for the other Noob games, play button, locked mod Noob vs 1000 zombies and exit game button. Of course, when you click to play, a video ads appears. In total, there are 9 chapters in the game, and the funny thing is that you can enter the chapter without the internet connected, because before it has to load one ad. Although the game is fully downloaded, it starts off with the Pro improving his physical performance as always, while Noob is just getting high on life. At some point, Noob feels hungry and decides he wants something to eat, but he doesn't know what he wants. Probably pizza. Pro got up and swung his sword at Noob, but as it turned out, there was an unfortunate zombie hiding in the bushes. He saved Noob, and then we have to go the search of the Lucky Block, which is supposed to be a pizza. The first chapter is familiarization, in which we are super strong guys, but here's the funny thing. Zombies and skeletons dies with one blow, while chickens and pigs with 2. It's kind of weird, don't you think? At the end of the level, the desired Lucky Block awaits us, but as it often happens, as soon as Noob approaches him, Hacker flies out of nowhere, throws Noob down, pushes Pro away and takes his Lucky Block. Here with the chapter 2, we begin our tough journey. To get to the end, we need to improve Pro, his boots, armor, energy, potion and sword. But the potion will give the player the mode of madness, in which the player will move extremely fast without using energy, and the sword improvement just gives the ability to strike faster. Even with the most common sword, hostile mobs die with a single blow. At some point, when passing the level, and you have to pass it over and over again to improve the hero, because only with full energy and improvements you can reach the end, and after the level shows a video advertisement. So I saw a suspiciously familiar zombie. He had red checkered shirt, blue pants and underwater mask. It was like I'd seen it somewhere before, but I just don't know where. You don't see zombies like this very often. Reaching the end of the level, we saw a hacker who was sitting in the cuddle with a Lucky Block. This was followed by a boss fight. Nothing super complicated. Our task in time to knock off the projectiles that are launched at us by the hacker. After the successful knockback, it hits the hacker and damages him. The player has 3 lives. As soon as they run out, the level does not start again. We are presented with an advertisement and then lives are restored. That is, in fact, it is impossible to lose. At the end of the battle, Hacker, sensing his soonest doom, cheated. He dug up the blocks, and those in turn buried Pro. All that was left of him was his armor and weapons. Do not forget about Noob. He did not step into the fight, he just waited. Apparently, he got tired of the waiting, and behind the barrel he found a red button that said "Do not press." What do you think he did? He pressed it more than once. After that, he teleported somewhere. They don't tell us where exactly, but this is where the new chapter begins, in which we need to improve Noob's vehicle. Everything is the same as in the last chapter. The first 3 indicators are responsible for passing to the next level, and the last 2 are not very important. If you play the old game Gravity Defied, where you had to control the motorcyclist, then here is a similar principle. Our task is to drive the car to the end, killing hordes of hostile mobs. The physics of the car is very sensitive, so you need to smoothly manage the car. There were cases when the wheel of the car just climbed on my hood, and I simply could not go further. At the end of the level, Noob just falls into a giant hole, but of course he survives and goes on. Meanwhile, we are transported to a hacker who was spotted by God. I don't know what happened between them, but God shoots a blob of energy at the hacker and he loses his ability to fly. Screaming, the hacker mounts up on the peak without a saddle, without using a rod and carrot, he simply moves around on the peak. Given that the peak's movement speed is much slower than the players, this is a questionable idea. In the next chapter, we have to play as a hacker. There are only 2 buttons, gas and jump. All we have to do is to pass the truck riding a pig, jumping up and moving forward. From time to time, the player will fly a bunch of arrows, from which you need to dodge by jumping. The most painful part of this level is the moment with jumping on the overhanging blocks above the lava lake. It's built in such a way that you purposely die every time. After all, there is no button to jump backwards, only forward movement, so you have to extremely clearly jump onto the cliff. And I remind you, after each death, there is a video advertisement waiting for you with no option to skip. Eventually, Tyler was able to reach his secret or just hide out and went down somewhere underground. Meanwhile, Pro, buried under the sand, has been revived. arrived. Here is a new chapter begins, and we again need to improve Pro, so that he can reach the end. The funny thing is that in each new chapter our movement count is reset to 0. This level is extremely similar to the very first one. We just move around and try to destroy peaceful and hostile mobs. As soon as I could reach the end of the level with a banana instead of a sword, I went somewhere high in the mountains. But where exactly we were not shown. Just transferred to the cave to Noob, where he wandering all alone in the darkness. He was able to find an old and rusty minecart. If you leave out the details, it's the same level where he had improved the car, only in a cave setting, and instead of the car, it's a minecart. All the problems that were with the car were transferred to the minecart, only it became even more sensitive and turned over almost every time I tried to lift it on a block. However, when I improved it almost to the max, it became faster and much more comfortable. Once I reached the end, we were shown Pro still moving upwards. At the same time, his armor and banana were missing, which made me extremely sad. Turns out he was moving towards to God to ask for his help, to teleport him to Noob. God didn't mind and accepted his request, and he appeared in the minecart with Noob. Together they were able to find Hacker's secret lair, and he in turn again cursed and began to run. This time there was another boss fight waiting for us. We, together with Noob on minecart, must dodge Hacker's projectiles and obstacles, while hitting him with arrows. Nothing complicated, everything is simple as possible. Only again, after each death we were shown video ads. After defeating Hacker, we were able to get the lucky block. Pro gave Noob his bow and took the lucky block for himself. Now their task is to get out of the cave alive, making their way through the hordes of zombies. In fact, you just have to shoot zombies with a bow, killing them. A small puzzle game, but quite fun. Nothing complicated, and thanks God, this time there was no need to improve anything. But as soon as two men emerged from the cave, a monster truck awaited them, which again had to be improved for coins. After driving it to the end of the level, the car exploded and rammed into the wall. This time we again had to improve Noob to get to the end of the level. It would have been more logical to give lucky block to Noob and take the bow to a pro. After all, he's already upgraded to the max. In the final game, they came around the tree, opened up the lucky block, and out fell a lot of pizza slices. Why didn't they do this sooner? I have no idea. There's also another mod in the game, Noob vs 1000 zombies. It's similar to the chapter where you have to logically try to figure it out, the fight path of an arrow to kill zombies. There are 102 levels in total, but I didn't bother going through all of them. At some point they get repetitive. Okay, this part is fun, just like all the previous ones, but it has a lot of ads. Thank you, at least there is no contextual ads. Okay, the final game for today is Ninja Sword Fighting 3D. It has over 10 million downloads and rating as high as 4 stars based on 27,000 reviews. I honestly can't understand where these numbers come from. Our task in the game is to drive your finger on the screen and control a hero who destroys enemies. Very simple game in which there is a lot of advertising. Literally for every action, video ads are shown without the possibility of skipping. In our arsenal, plenty of different weapons, but all of them only decorative and have no special power. The same situation with skins. Mostly here are popular personalities of characters from movies, comics, TV series and games. They do not bring any improvements to the game. At one point we are even given the opportunity to create your own island, on which you can build pyramids that will bring coins. After all, for them we can improve our hero and buy skins. In general, everything is as simple and repetitive as possible. Replace the scenery with any other and nothing will change. Okay, I think that's enough for today. I like these ripoffs. I really enjoyed making this video. If you know any other ripoffs, feel free to write them in the comments for the next episode. While you're waiting for the new video, check out this one. They're interesting too. Subscribe to this channel, put thumbs up and click on the bell. We'll hear from you again, because we're discovering Minecraft in a new way.